Hey guys, welcome back to another test and tune video. I am operating from home and this is a review video, but not a normal one because it's not a new product. It's something that I've had for nearly a year. You guys know what it is because it's in the thumbnail, but it's the BigBoi WashR Pro, and I've recently got the BigBoi D-Ionizr, but the reason I wanted to do a video on them is they're quite good. They're quite cheap, and not a lot of people know how good they are. Not a lot of people know about this brand, and I think a lot of people are turned off by how cheap it is. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you are coming to this video as a viewer of the main 0 to 60 channel, there will be a video on the E92 Coupe, hopefully in the next couple of days, but I will put a link to it once it's done, just so you know it's there. But back to this one, we have here the BigBoi WashR Pro. Now I bought this, it was 11 months ago. It came up on a once-in-a-lifetime deal, as modern retail people like to do, which of course, it's on that once-in-a-lifetime deal about every 2 months, it seems. But it's the WashR Pro with the hose, and then I did option up and get the hose reel trolley thing that you can see there, the frame that it's sitting in. But essentially, this unit here is kind of an equivalent of like a Kranzel unit, which would be about twice the price. The reason I went for this pressure washer, I'd had petrol pressure washers for quite a long time. Petrol pressure washers are great, very powerful, and they're cheap too. You can get good ones from Bunnings for $300 or $400. Good for washing a car, but they're noisy, and I felt it was a little bit too noisy to run here at home. I'm quite close to the neighbors and I didn't want to be annoying them at 7 o'clock in the morning if I'm washing a car. And I do like to wash cars a lot. This is 11 months old. I am just using it at home, but I reckon I do 2 or 3 cars a week with it every week. Give or take the odd 1 or 2 where I might not get a chance. However, it definitely does get a lot of use. Let me show you how it's aged in those 11 months with a bit of heavy enthusiast use. So the actual pressure washer did fail. It failed about 3 months ago. A good mate of mine who is a full-time detailer now, he also bought this unit just as he started his business, and he had a similar issue. His was about 4 or 5 months old and the unit stopped turning on. There is an issue with the circuit board on the original version in here. And in BigBoi's defense, I contacted BigBoi and they sent me a new circuit board express post, and within 3 days it was repaired, and my friend went through a similar experience. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, the new version of this, because this is the old version, obviously has the new circuitry, and I haven't had an issue with the circuitry since I've updated it. Just keep it in mind, it is a new product, but BigBoi did the right thing. It didn't cost me anything and it was fixed within a few days. I kind of appreciate that. The trolley itself is fine. It's not going rusty yet, and I have cleaned it for this video. In fact, I'll flick up a little footage of how dirty and how manky this normally sits as it sits in the corner of the garage. But yeah, the trolley has aged well. The hose reel has been fine. The only thing I'm not liking is I'm getting a little bit of corrosion around this particular fitting here. I have not greased this joint. It feels fine. Obviously, this is what pivots when the reel gets unwound. But all in all, the hardware side of it is aging fine. It's good enough. It's not the top dollar stuff, but I'm pretty happy with it. But the big thing is how good this washer is, and we'll get to that in a second. I'll just give you a quick rundown on what I'm going to do with the wash. Since I've been living here, I went through basically just buying products that were on sale at the local auto shops every weekend, from wheel cleaners, washers, and I tried heaps of different products over the last 12 months, and I've ended up just back at AutoSmart products, which I've been using for 20 years through all the car businesses that I've had. But we've got AutoSmart Snow Foam Pro, AutoSmart AquaSeal Pro, and the wheel cleaner I'm using is AutoSmart Red 7, which is like a fallout remover or a D-Ionizer, but it works really good for wheels and it doesn't hurt paint. You can literally spray it on your paintwork and it's not a problem. Probably not the sort of thing you would clean like a commercial vehicle or a truck wheel with, but for your nice things with nice painted wheels, I like this, and it's really, really good. Yeah, I guess I better get into it. The way that I have my little system of washing cars, I start with the wheels. I've got a completely separate set of cleaning tools for the wheels, so I'll get the wheels done, and then we'll fire up the BigBoi, and you can see how quiet and how powerful this is. Okay, so all 4 wheels have been done. I guess a lot of people are going to want to know why I do the wheels first. I like to get all the brake dust off. That's the dirtiest part of the car most of the time when I'm cleaning them. And I want to give the car wash, all of the nice stuff for the paint, a chance to work on the wheels. So get the worst part done out of the way first, and then they'll get another clean with what you'll see shortly. Okay, the pressure washer. Okay, so we turn it on. It builds up pressure initially. That is as loud as this thing gets, by the way. And and that's it. It's got pressure in here, it turns off, it has got a pressure sensor, which is perfect. So first thing I'm gonna do is just give the car a rinse off with water before we foam it. And that is the rail doing work. And something I'll just recommend, because I have made a mistake, always make sure your end is clipped in, because if it's not clipped in properly, it comes out like a bullet, which you don't want. She's clipped in. Hopefully you can still hear me all right, but all of the noise actually comes from the water coming out of the gun. So I just want to give it a quick rinse and get most of the dust off it. This car does have, well, I say it does have a coating. I coated it in 2018 with a Chinese coating, but what you're seeing, all this beading, is a result of the AquaSeal Pro, which you'll see me apply shortly. Okay, so that's the car rinsed off, and it's just a matter of getting all the heavy dirt off it. Oh, it looks pretty good already. This AquaSeal Pro stuff is amazing. It's so quick to do. All right, let me get the foam cannon on and we'll foam it. And it's the foaming guns where a decent pressure washer makes a big difference. You just can't get this level of foam with the smaller home orientated ones. Oh, we need to adjust that a little bit. Ooh. Let's start at the bottom first. It goes on so thick. And it's more like snow. Like it almost like it dries before it hits the car. And that's it. That's why I love this pressure washer. Now, obviously, if the car's quite dirty, I will go back to just fresh water and rinse all this. But this is relatively clean, so I'm going to go straight to the sponge. I mean wash mitt, obviously wash mitt. So the snow foam's been on there for about a minute at the moment, and this AquaSeal Pro is brilliant. Like, it goes on so thick. It is a hot day, so I am fighting drying time with this, but it's just starting to run off the back. I'm going to rinse this and get to sponging. I don't know if the GoPro is going to pick it up, but you can see remnants of the wheel cleaner getting washed away as it goes purple. I'll switch to time lapse. All right, so that's had it basically washed with a mitt. Now, you could do this as a touchless wash if the car had a decent coating on it. I find that cars without real decent ceramic coats, you really do need an actual contact wash. But hey, this is pretty good, and it doesn't take very long. Let's get this rinsed. And of course, you get to see the pressure washer, which is what this video is about. Right, that's the car fully rinsed. Well, all of the soap suds are removed, which is all I do for this step of it. You can see here the way that the water is currently sitting. There is not that much water beading going on. It doesn't look overly hydrophobic right now, which is normal. This car has been in the shed for probably 2 or 3 months, hasn't been washed a lot. In fact, I can't remember the last time I washed it, but this is where this is going to come in. Now, this is the BigBoi D-Ionizr, and it removes, what's an ion remover? I don't know what the proper word is, but it makes it so that the water that you're going to rinse with for the final rinse, what I'm going to use to apply the ceramic coating is basically it will dry and it will not leave any watermarks. This is quite a lot of money. It was $500, but it is freaking brilliant. And it means you don't have to go over the top when you're trying to rinse your cars, which is really helpful. So what I do, obviously it's not mounted yet, I remove my main water source from the pressure washer. This is the inlet into the filter system. This goes into the pressure washer if it clips on. So that's coming out of the filter system, which just loops around the back and goes in. We connect this into the filter system, and then the filter system is obviously now pressurized. If I turn my little TDS meter on, so we've got 70 particles per million coming in, and then going out, it should read a little bit because we're not flowing. But if I flow a little bit, in fact, I'll turn the pressure washer off to do that. But if I flow a little bit, I'll turn the pressure washer on to do that. So we actually get some flow. You can see that the particles per million drop to 0. So the water coming out of here is now very clean. I'm going to hook up my AquaSeal Pro on the foam gun. This thing is brilliant. All right, so AquaSeal Pro goes on with a foaming gun. It doesn't foam, but you'll see how it goes on in a second. It's nice and quiet. Like that. Get some on the wheels. Now this stuff's really hydrophobic, and it helps keep the cars clean for the week or if they get rained on, that sort of stuff. You can see what it's doing to the paint. That's it, that's the whole car done. So you don't use a lot, obviously mixes with water as it goes on, and it's just a matter of leaving that on the car for as long as you're comfortable doing before it starts to dry. All right, so the AquaSeal Pros, it's just getting to the point where I'm worried it's going to start drying, so we're going to pressure wash it off. It's probably been 2 minutes maximum, and you'll see how much more hydrophobic the paint is, and it's literally all you need to do for a ceramic application, which is pretty cool. Just make sure the jet's not going to fly out. We're good. So you only need to use the filter system for the final rinse, but I tend to do it for the AquaSeal Pro application just so that I can get all the normal water out of the pressure washer. Now for the final step, I just remove the spray nozzle, and that basically makes it come out in less of a jet, so you don't get these fine particles on the paint, and it makes it a little bit easier or less water to dry. as you can see here. But I'm not going to dry it, and I'll show you why. Well, not with a cloth. Actually, there's a good shot of the difference. This is straight out the normal pressure washer, and this is with the nozzle removed. So you end up with way less water on the car. And that's it for the pressure washer. So I'll get the reel rolled back up, and I'll show you how I'm not going to touch it with a cloth, and I'll show you what it looks like in the sun shortly. So last thing to do is to dry the car. Now, BigBoi actually started off, their first product range were blowers, blower R's, blower Pros. They look brilliant. I've never actually used one, and they've just released a cordless one, which I don't have. But I do have a Ryobi leaf blower. This is just the small 18-volt Ryobi, and it's what I've been using. It's not great, but it does the job. And because of the filter system, you don't need to dry every little molecule off the car. I like to get it off the wheels so I can apply some tire shine, but I'll show you what I do. So that's this side done. I'll just do the rest of it off camera. You guys have seen the process, but I'm not getting all of the water off the car. Let me finish blowing it, and then you'll see it in the sun without touching it with a cloth. Well, here we are. That is a wash without rinsing it. Well, no, that's not true. That is a wash without drying it. And it looks pretty good. That is all from that filtering system. I think ultimately, if I was trying to wash a car for a particular event or something where I wanted it to be really good, you'd still go over it with a dry towel and maybe in some additional spray wax. But at quick glance, she looks clean. It is not covered in water spots like you would expect a car to be that hasn't been dried with a towel. I think it looks good. Oh, I did tire shine it, by the way, before I moved it from here. And it is still drying. There is still moisture on that car and water running off, as you can see under the door there from after I've moved it. But in summary, BigBoi pressure washer, this is the main thing. This is a good value proposition to me. I think I paid about $650, $700 for the actual pressure washer, and then $300 for the stand when they were on sale. And it's a really, really good unit. It's quiet and it's powerful. It does move a lot of water. You'll be able to look up the specs if you want the exact specs, but it's similar to your $400 petrol pressure washer, but the motor is nearly silent. Nearly. All the noise gets made from the nozzle that you've got in there. And I did catch my leg with it at Christmas time, rushing doing a car, and it actually took about 2 layers of skin off. So it is powerful. It is a very good pressure washer. The idea with it is you can actually soften it up with this. And I think when I bought it, I did save some instructions somewhere where you can actually make it more powerful than it is out of the box. But the idea is you have it set up in a way that you're not going to be blowing any paint off or damaging any of the vehicles, that's the sort of thing. This thing is a really good setup. My only complaint with it is when you roll the hose up, you do need to wipe it with a rag, and I did wipe a rag as I rolled it up, but you still get a lot of shit on there, and then all the crap falls onto your pressure washer. Filtering system, I really like. As I was saying, this is not dried, so this car has not had any dry towels on it, and it looks good enough. It makes it much quicker if you want to do a quick wash before you go to a Cars and Coffee or that sort of thing, or if you're trying to wash the car before you head to work. Just maintenance type washes, not the sort of wash you would do if you're really showing it off at a specific car show, that sort of thing. But yeah, it makes washing quicker. You don't need to go over and dry everything. You don't need to worry about water running out of your mirrors or your doors and leaving watermarks, because it doesn't really leave watermarks like you would expect. Like, look at that glass. That glass has not been dried with a cloth, and it looks really good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Do recommend this, do recommend that. If you've got any questions about it, let me know. That was the foam gun that come in the pressure washer pack. It's done most of the work, and this was just one that was on sale at Repco. Looks pretty similar when you look at it like that. Yeah, 40 or 50 bucks. They're not expensive guns, but they do the job nicely. Thank you, BigBoi, for actually making a decent product for us DIYers that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. catch you on the next one.